all that smile, because at least two of the players that we thought should undergo what we call a late fitness test have gone ahead to pass it, and they are with the Arsenal squad, that are obviously going to be facing a team known as Aston Villa. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. You understand? Kai Havertz and Ben White. All right. So welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? And where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. And guys, smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And Rokani David is my name. And guys, hope you're really having a fantastic Tuesday. On my side, it's really bad and boring. They expected it. Uganda Crane is playing Nigeria, and Uganda has so far swallowed 3 from Nigeria, and only one has gone ahead to obviously gate into the back of the net of Nigeria. And Nigeria have gone ahead to obviously register maximum 3 points from the group stages, which is really a very big push for them as far as this is really concerned. So Nigeria is leading by 3-1 for Uganda Cranes. It has been Rogers Mato who has gone ahead to obviously score, but Alan Okello is the magician who went ahead to obviously create that wonderful assist. And if there is a player from the Uganda Cranes that I think has gone ahead to obviously sell himself outside there, one is Aziz Kayondo and the other one is Alan Okello. Alan Okello in this tournament, he has registered 2 assists, though he missed out on a penalty when we are playing against Tanzania in there for you. So, Nigeria, Paul Onachu in the 28th minute and Rafael Onyedika in the 62nd minute and 67th minute. He bagged himself a brace against Uganda as the goalkeeper Salim Jamal Magola went ahead to obviously get sent off after denying Victor Osimhen a clear goal-scoring opportunity as he was the last man. And that's what is happening in the AFCON right now. But we are yet to let you know about others in there for you. So, smash the like button close to 200 times, and don't forget to obviously drop your comment into the comment section. Thank you, Kasande Ben, for coming in through. Solomon, Mubarak, Mukombwe, all of you guys. It's nice having you here, and it's always okay to have you onto this channel. Now, let's get deep into these details that have gone ahead to be dropped by a man known as Tiki Taka Corner. But last night there is an account that is fond of really dropping breaking news for the club of Arsenal, goes by names of Hand of Ozil. Hand of Ozil has gone ahead to obviously break news, and the news is really huge. And yesterday night, he told us that all right. So this is what he told us yesterday night. I want to really be exact and accurate. Yesterday night, I saw this story, but the language he used was not all that a confirmatory test or a confirmatory language that this is going to happen. He told us that exclusive Kai Havertz has been included in Arsenal squad for tomorrow. A decision will be made tomorrow on his selection for the official match day sheet. So yesterday he was included into the match squad that went to the hotel where Arsenal slept before they went ahead to play the game of football today against Aston Villa. You understand? A decision has to be made today on whether he'll make it onto the team sheet. That is it. But he only talked about Kai Havertz. He never talked about Benjamin White. You understand? Now, from there, we obviously get a story from from another source. And this one is credible. Why is it credible? Because he's an Arsenal correspondent for The Athletic. And a story has been put out by Guna, and it obviously confirmed to us that Benjamin White and Kai Havertz are with the rest of the squad ahead of Arsenal's pre-Aston Villa match. Massive boost for Arsenal should they both be included in the final squad. So, last night, what was called was all about Kai Havertz, right? It was not all about Benjamin White. Now, Gunnar Blog, Arsenal correspondent for a side known as Athletic, told us about Kai Havertz. Told us about these two being available in here. And guess what? These two have been seen in the photo. And allow me really drop you this photo too. Ben White and Kai Havertz are here to represent for the club of Arsenal tonight. Now, the significance of these two will be dissected in the next 2-3 minutes by me here. So when you look at this is Benjamin White. You get? It's Benjamin White, and Arteta has always kept on telling us that the player, Arteta has always kept on telling us that the player is not available, and it will take him some time to obviously come and really show up, you know. And these are the mind games that Mikel Arteta has started playing. Yesterday, in the training session for the club of, Arsenal at the Sob Training Center, you know what happened there? It was only Kai Havertz that we saw during the training, and Benjamin White was nowhere to be seen. And again, when Hand of Ozil was being given news because he has flies on the walls of Arsenal that really brief him about the latest updates, they only told him about Kai Havertz because we had already gone ahead to see him in training, and we all knew to it that something would happen. But for Benjamin White, it was like the manager telling everyone that please don't let the cat out of the bag. Don't let this known to anyone that we are obviously going to be having Benjamin White back. So you have to give credit to the club of Arsenal, and that means they'll only let out what they want you to know. And what they don't want you to know, they won't let it out. You understand? Arsenal will only let you know what they want you to know. And for what they don't want you to know, they won't let it out. That is good. Dressing room leaks are normal. You get? Arsenal doesn't leak like a watering can. You know? They confine their information very well, and there is no way you'll obviously see them in it's called a conundrum, right? So kudos to the side of Arsenal and what they've gone ahead to do, and we just love what they've gone ahead to do lately in here for you. So thank you very much for watching through. So this is Benjamin White, you know, today, and that is Kai Havertz, you get? And this is Gabriel Jesus. So focus so much onto the circled players, right? Focus so much onto the circled players. Don't focus a lot onto the uncircled player, who is Gabriel Jesus, that is obviously making good rounds in there. Now, what is the importance of getting these two players back? Now, let me break it down with one first. Benjamin White. Now, if you've been following up on me, I've always told you that if Arsenal is to bring in a player, that player has to be a multi-dimensional player. And he has to be able to play as a right back and centre back. Because when you look at all those players and what they're really doing, like you saw what Rice did against Brighton, you know, it's really hard. Meaning that you should sign in a player. You remember like a player with a Tomiyasu profile, you get? And Arsenal got him for just £18 million, you know, from Bologna to the club of Arsenal. He could play as a left back, right? He could play as Um, he could play as a left back. He could play as a right back. He could play as a right back. He could play as a left back. And that's how good that player could be for the club of Arsenal, though they terminated his contract. And I think that's why they even renewed his contract, because he was a multifunctional player for the club of Arsenal. And you can all agree with me that the lad was really that special. So I think Arsenal should look out for that player. But if they really get assurance from Benjamin White and Julian Timber that they can be a variable, for the entire season, then that is not needed. Because in the midfield, I think Arsenal is really well catered for. Though many people have come out and obviously downplayed the efforts of a player called Norgard, I think Norgard can do a wonderful job in that CDM role, because he has done that job against very many teams. And I've gone ahead to people say he's not press resistant. And I'm like, Arteta, not fielding him game in, game out, doesn't really nullify him from the category of a ball retention midfielder. He is really that good, I tell you. He's good. You saw him against Crystal Palace. He came up, he represented, and put out a very huge display for the club of Arsenal. So, Benjamin White's return, especially this game of Aston Villa, changes everything, as I'm going to be bringing you the other probable starting 11 that I really did, and this one that is obviously going to be totally changed. You understand? So that means Ben White will start as the right back, right? Today. He will drop him in, as the story of Declan Rice is one of those that is really most shocking, Timber is one of those that has not been seen with the club of Arsenal. And I tell you this, it might be another mind game, that these photos released by the club of Arsenal are meant to disorganize, are meant to disorganize the dressing room for the side of Aston Villa. Because if Ben White is back, that means Timber might also be back, because the manager told us that it was a precaution to not play him against a team known as Brighton. Meaning that the mind games are really growing. And obviously Unai Emery has to obviously change his game plan as soon as possible, right? Let's get to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz's return is really very important. Why? We've been told by Guna Blog, right? This is what we've gone ahead to get from him. Let me throw it on the screen and you guys have a look at it. We've been told that Declan Rice expected to miss Arsenal's match against Aston Villa tonight after sustaining a knee injury in a 2-1 victory over Brighton. Arsenal hopeful it will be short absence because don't want to risk aggravating issue further. That's what we've gone ahead to get in through. Subuga, you go. I'm streaming. Arsenal hopefully it will be short absence, but don't want to risk aggravating issue further. So, if Declan Rice is away, right, and bearing in mind that Arsenal really went ahead to score very many goals last season, compared to what they've gone ahead to score this season, when Kai Havertz is leading the line, you obviously feel like he has returned at a very good time altogether. And secondly, going back to Declan Rice's situation, being away, I tell you, him being away can really give Kai Havertz a chance to play as a number 8 box-to-box midfielder, as Arteta has ever gone ahead to obviously try out that. So Rice is expected to miss out this game. Though, don't be shocked if he's in the squad of Arsenal. That is it. Don't be shocked at any one point when Declan Rice is in the squad of Arsenal. So, the return of these players is really very important for the club of Arsenal, and it really gives Arsenal some huge boost. Meaning that, who are those missing in action? First and foremost, Mosquera, Ricardo Carafiori, Declan Rice, and Julian Timber. Those four have not been seen, and only one who has been given that allowance of really being out for so long, it's none other than Christian Mosquera. But the rest are really short-term injuries that can come in through and obviously get cured in a nick of time, as they don't expect Declan Rice to be out for long. And Declan Rice is one of those players that Arsenal really need, day in, day out. They really need the player to come up and obviously put out a very huge shift for themselves. I tell you, Rice is that player that Arsenal really need, And I think none of you really dismisses that Arsenal needs this player, He has, the work rate of Declan Rice is compared to none, first and foremost. Secondly, the player, in the names of Declan Rice, is really the best set piece deliverer to the people of Arsenal, especially off the left and Saka off the right. You all agree with me. So if that's the case, you wouldn't like to miss out on a player like Declan Rice. Not so? So you wouldn't like to miss out on a player like Declan Rice, I tell you. So Arsenal has to obviously come up and really understand that the return of these players is really a very huge boost onto their side. So let's wait and see how that pans out. But this side of Arsenal is really giving and really putting out a very huge shift altogether. And no one doesn't want to really feel happy for these players returning. As Rice is out, I think Mikel Merino can do the job, right? Who else can do the job? I think Ebelechi Eze can do the job as a box-to-box midfielder, And to me, I think Arsenal is really having a balanced squad, And it's a blessing disguise that Gabriel Magalhaes really left. And people saw to it that Mosquera can do the needful in that position. Hincapi can do the needful in that position, right? Then even a player called, what's his name? Ricardo Carafiori could also come in. And Declan Rice going out will provide Mikel Arteta a chance to really test the players that he thinks can obviously do a job or get the job done as number 8s in there for you. Not so? So I'm 100% sure that the club of Arsenal is really having one of the squads that I think will go ahead and really compete very well. I'm going to be coming into your comment section. I'm really trying to really do this probable starting 11 here according to the team news that we're going to head to again, because earlier today I came up, streamed live and really told you about my probable starting 11 when I'm not 100% sure of who is obviously going to be coming in through. But as we speak right now, we know those players that are available for the club of Arsenal to come up and obviously get the job done. And for Kai Havertz, again leading the line, it helps the manager to get what we call huge competition from his players. And you must prove that you are the right number 9 for the club of Arsenal to put out a show. Now, where does this leave Victor Gyökeres? Because for the Victor Gyökeres I've gone ahead to see, I think without pressure, he had hit the ground running. But an injury came up, against Burnley in a game where he created 3 big chances to Bukayo Saka and Saka scored none. And he got injured. And when he got injured, everyone was like, what an F, Now, with many players coming into play, and his competitor putting out a very huge fight. Like Gabriel Jesus, if you've been following up recently his performances, you know what Gabriel Jesus has been putting out onto the pitch. He has been really playing one of the best games that I've gone ahead to see. Now Kai Havertz is back. And they've not gone ahead to really hasten his return. They've given him ample time to return, and he's really doing well and working on well. That is Kai Havertz for you. And the moment he comes up and he leads that line and starts scoring goals, same applies to Gabriel Jesus. I think Victor Gyökeres will be in total trouble. I tell you this. Gyökeres will be in total trouble. He won't really find himself into the starting 11 for the club of Arsenal, because where they are right now, Arsenal need a player who can really get them goals. Because if you watch the game of Brighton, Arsenal had 15 shots at goal. But they had only one goal. You understand? And that goal came out of the 18 yards box area. You get? So, I tell you this through experience, that for that, it means that maybe the number 9 hasn't obviously gone ahead to sink in well with what we call the team of Arsenal. But when Jesus comes in through and really plays with those players, maybe Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, name it, he looks like the chemistry is right. You know, now we all know to it that the vast majority of last season, Arsenal played with, with Kai Havertz as their number 9, not until he really got injured, and they deployed Mikel Merino there. You remember? So, that brings out a very huge question of how Arsenal will line up with Jesus and a player called and a player called one, Jesus Fit, and the other one known as Kai Havertz Fit. Big one, guys. Big decision for Mikel Arteta to make, but all in all, those players are really back to face a side that Arsenal hasn't had a good time with them at Emirates. Moreover, previous 2 seasons, 2 or 3, Arsenal has not gone ahead to register anything positive from this side. You understand? Now, with these players in, before I really bring you this, let me read through. Kashande Ben, live and clear, all right. Then Solomon says, is Declan Rice fit for tonight? News is like, I've read that, I think. I've replied to you guys. Mubarak, Rokani, big up. But White, we want to know about Rice situation. I've told you about the Rice situation. They don't want to obviously force him into this game of football, but if there need be, they might really force him into this situation, into this game. Why? You have to look at the next fixtures of Arsenal. This fixture is really very important for Arsenal. That if they have Rice in it, it will mean a lot. And the next fixtures are Bournemouth away. They can do without him. Liverpool, guys, Aston Villa is more threatening than Liverpool because the league table even shows you. So I would rather have Declan Rice for the game of Aston Villa rather than Bournemouth, Liverpool, Portsmouth, Chelsea, Nottingham. And even if he returns in the game of Inter Milan, that will be better. You understand? So for me, I will be so much okay without having him. And in this game of Aston Villa, I think I need him. But on the other side, because you know me very well, I'm this kind of person who really flips the coin a lot. I don't want to rely a lot onto saying that what if, I don't want to die. I don't want to really have what we call all my eggs in one basket. And I always want to flip the coin to see on the other side. It might be a blessing, this guy's also, for Declan Rice not to be here, that he has played very many minutes. We've always talked about the workload of Zubimendi, but we've obviously failed to talk about the workload of a player called of a workload of a player called Declan Rice. You know, because Zubimendi's style of play, I don't think that it really requires a lot of movement like that of Declan Rice. But Declan Rice, to obviously notice how good he is and his presence on the pitch, he has to run to make sure that he steps on every blade of grass on the pitch. That is Declan Rice for you. So, maybe he needs to rest. And without Bouba Kamara in that midfield, I think it gives Arsenal an edge. That means they're obviously going to be having Tielemans, McGinn, and Onana. You get? So, I think Merino can deal with that. Not so? I think Merino can deal with that if need be. Not so? Hello, Mr. Rokani. Have we the Gunners played with Bournemouth? Round 1? Not yet. Bournemouth is the next game that you guys are really playing, and you're playing them away. Chaba Music. Good evening, Mr. Rokani. Aston Villa 3, Villa 1. Solomon Bulime, Mubarak. We have not played Bournemouth. That is it. You are playing it next. Santos says, good evening, bro. Can I know more about Declan Rice? Declan Rice is not completely ruled out of this game, but his chances to obviously show up are really very, very narrow. Good news for Arsenal. That is Kenneth O'Mara, Kendra Aaron Rokani. Thanks for your updates. And I hear that Rice won't play today, that he got injured on the Brighton match. Do you have any information? I've given you everything and what happened in the game of Brighton. You get? Kenneth O'Mara, good news for Arsenal, all right. But I can see 2-1 win for Arsenal, all right. How is that good news? That Jan Ropp, as he's injured. Rokani, is it true that Rice is injured? Yes, Declan Rice is injured. That is it. Who else? Who else is in here? All right. Zuma says, good evening, Rokani. I'm live in Arua. Thanks for the updates. All right. Why is it that most of players get injured from training? Who really got injured when training? I think it's only Julian Timber. Benjamin White, he was playing in which game where he got off? Declan Rice, he got injured during the Brighton game. If Rice not available, then it's better Arteta to play Zubi and Nogard instead of Merino. Yeah, I think they should try out. You have a very valid argument. You get? Your argument is really valid. I think you can try out Zubimendi as an 8 in the Declan Rice position, of which I believe he can offer you more than what he offers you when he's being played as a number 6. As his composure and technical ability, space awareness, space navigation, he's better than Declan Rice. Declan Rice is just that workaholic player in there. But I think Zubi can really do the job and let Nogard sit in the CDM, But I know Mikel Merino will come up to play as a box-to-box midfielder, and Zubimendi will be played as a CDM. Guma Peter High. Something I want to know, if a player threw the ball in the back of the net, is it a goal or not live? Oh, okay. If it goes straight in the goal, it's not counted. You get? It only counts when it has gone ahead to obviously be touched on by another player. But the moment it's thrown and it gets straight in the back of the net, it's not counted. It's not counted. Because a player cannot really score with his hand. No way. That's not accepted. Clean with Rice out, I swear it's not looking good, guys. But I don't know why you Arsenal guys are really so much negative looking. You know, you think Rice is really the engine of this team. You get? I think Arsenal missed out a lot onto Ben White or Timber. In this situation, I would rather not have a Declan Rice other than have a Timber or a Ben White back. Why? That right back position was really lacking a lot when Arsenal was playing against Brighton. However much Declan Rice was there, but you can't tell me that he really put out a 50% of what Timber or Ben White really get you. You get? And you're talking about Declan Rice. Even if he was available and Ben White was not here, Declan Rice would have going to have to be played as a right back. And do you want Declan Rice as a right back in your team or not? I think no. You would want him to play as a box-to-box midfielder, right? And then see to it that you really get Ben White in there. And for the team of Arsenal, when you're having Nogard, Ebelechi Eze, you're having Zubimendi, you are having Mikel Merino, Kai Havertz back, the manager can easily get out a very good midfield partnership in there. I think so. So for me, let Declan Rice rest. And the problem people have is you've forgotten the rules of the Premier League. Arsenal, for the previous 4 seasons, from that of 2022, 2023, 2023, 2024, 2024, 2025, 2025, 2026, it's only one season where they've not accomplished Christmas when they are on top of the table. And that was the season of 2023, I think 2024, right? But the rest of the seasons, out of the 4, 3 Arsenal have completed ahead of everyone on Christmas. Now, you have to ask yourself this big question. If Arsenal has been doing so, why have they not gone ahead to win the league? The reason is simple. Arsenal has not gone ahead to win the league because post-Christmas, they haven't gone ahead to obviously look good and win the game they're supposed to win. Meaning that they obviously have a very good start and they're at a certain point X drop off. And in this league, what do you need? You need not to drop off in the last half of the season. You understand? So, I tell you, I rather see Declan Rice return in February than have him here. Have him in February, March, April, and May, because there won't be no gap of really closing in at him like City. You know, here you have time to really correct your mistakes. But come February, March, it's all about action time. And that's why I told you that the injury of Gabriel Magalhaes was a blessing in disguise for the club of Arsenal, because it never came at the most critical moment of the season. And the lad is back, and I know today he's going to be back in the starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. So, let Rice rest. You know, you think Arsenal cannot beat Aston Villa without Declan Rice? I tell you they can. You get? Now, the other question is, you think Arsenal cannot lose to Aston Villa when Declan Rice is available? You know, they can lose, they can win. So, Merino can come up and do the job. You get? And I think, technically, he's a better player than Declan Rice. What Declan Rice gives Arsenal that none of the players of Arsenal really gives is his work ethic. He's really a workaholic player. That is it. You know, he runs a lot. He covers huge spaces, you know. And for the set pieces, I think they can obviously deploy someone else in training who can obviously do the job. You understand? Maybe Martinelli. We've gone ahead to see Trossard, you know, doing the needful. Yeah? All right. And there are very many players who can come in through and really do the job of Declan Rice, even far much better. You get? Hey, will King Kai be on the lineup? We are waiting to see, but he's with the Arsenal squad. Guma Peter, thanks for that. Then Klein, if we don't pull a win at first half, it will be more or less over for us, as Villa has proven to be deadly in the second half. But Arsenal is at the Emirates, and they are really one of the good defending sides, with Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba there. So, 30 minutes from now, the lineup will be out, and I'll be back here letting you know who has gone ahead to start. This is Joseph, says, Rokani, I like your analysis, but these days you drag your words and repeat some words even up to 3 times as if you lost your track in the analysis, which means it's dull. Please come alive and be lively. All right? I don't really understand what you're saying, but because I had some things I'm attending to here, that doesn't mean that I'm really not on track. I'm always on track. And have I ever lost track? That's the question you have to ask yourself. You get? Guma Peter, because we are confused. Very many people ask questions about the throw-in. All right, I've gone ahead to give you the answer. Klein, Bro Rice is the only player who is replaceable in that squad. It's high time we have to admit. You people, you first told me Saka is replaceable. Odegaard is replaceable. I told you, players at Arsenal that are replaceable. You get? I think Gabriel Jesus, because what he offers, no one offers it on the pitch. And the manager's come out and really admitted it. You understand? The other one would have gone to be Leandro Trossard, but the coming through of Belechi Eze closed that, you know. And I think the other player that Arsenal doesn't have is a Zubimendi-like kind of player and a Martin Odegaard-like kind of player. But for the rest of the players, Arsenal can play and really has options that can come up and obviously do the job. I don't know what exactly you people think that Rice is replaceable. And you people recently were like, Saliba is replaceable. Now, when he got injured, Mosquera came in through, and you saw what Mosquera did. You understand? Gabriel Magalhaes is replaceable. He got injured. And guess what happened? Hasn't Arsenal gone ahead to win games and they're still on top of the Premier League table? Yes, they are. Hincapié has done the job. Carafiore has done the job. Mosquera has been there. You get? So, I think at Arsenal, for me, Gabriel Jesus brings something different that no other Arsenal player offers. Martin Odegaard brings a lot onto the pitch that no other Arsenal player offers, right? Zubimendi is another player at Arsenal that brings quality and technicality that no other Arsenal player holds. Those are 3 players I think are really irreplaceable. And I think the other one is Julian Timber. Does Arsenal really have any other right back who is like Julian Timber? I don't think so. But I think for Declan Rice, you know, a lot of players can come and play as 8s. Eze can. Ebelechi Eze can come and play as a number 8, like Alfred Simpasa is saying that, hi Rokani, my suggestion is on space of Declan Rice. Let's put Eze. He can do the job. That is it. Merino can do the job. Zubimendi can be played as an 8, and Nogard can be played as a 6. So, I think there are 4 players of Arsenal that I think are really replaceable. Julian Timber, Martin Zubimendi, Martin Odegaard, and Gabriel Jesus. Moses says, I would rather prefer Rice to rest. I tell you, unless otherwise, you are not looking ahead. You know? Look ahead. Be like the wise. You know? Be like the wise. Look ahead. I would rather rest Declan Rice other than losing him for the entire season. You get? The mistakes that Aston did on Julian Timber, on Gabriel Jesus, shouldn't be done on Declan Rice. If he's feeling a pain, let him rest, like they did with Ricardo Carafiore. During the warm-up of the game of Brighton, he felt an ego, and the manager was like, please, go and rest. They went ahead to Gate, Lewis Kelly back in his position. Buire Michael. The problem with Arteta will start Merino instead of Norgard. We'll wait and see. So that is it. Now, before I really sign out, allow me show you what I think my probable starting 11 is going to be like today, as Arsenal goes ahead to face a side known as Aston Villa, the Emirates. It has changed because we have some news that Benjamin White is here. And in goal, I go with... not Kepa. I go with David Raya, my namesake. That is it. Right back, Benjamin White, of course. Left back, I switch with Lewis Kelly. That is it. Then, left-sided centre-back, Gabriel Magalhaes. Right-sided centre-back, I choose Ben White. CDM, obviously, comes in through Zubimendi. Mikel Merino, number 8, box-to-box midfielder. And the central attack midfielder, I go with Martin Odegaard. Right forward, maintain Saka. Left forward, I maintain Trossard. And leading the line, I start up with none other than Victor Gyökeres to have that energy of Gabriel Jesus burning to come off the bench and fire up all the cylinders. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I have someone from Rwanda. His Boaz says, thanks Rokani for good analysis. I'm here listening from Rwanda. Thank you very much for watching through. Uganda Cranes has been knocked out of the African Cup of Nations and they are traveling back to Kampala, you know. And they've lost to Nigeria by 3-1. The best they've gone ahead to do is a draw with Tanzania. And their journey has come to an end. Guys,